Hi, in this video we're going to be taking a look at this laboratory oven. So I got this off a friend of mine, and the reason why I wanted it is because I'm planning on doing some powder coating for another project which I'll just show you now. So I bought this cocktail Space Invaders to restore. Now there's a lot of problems with this, so I'll probably be doing a few videos on this one. And one of the things that I want to do is to try and refurbish all of these corners, which are all rusty as you can see, and all of these legs down here which need taken off, and I'm hoping to powder coat them. The reason is I sent away for a quote to get them re-chromed, and it was actually going to cost more than actually buying one of these tables all done. I think the quote is about £700 to get the bits re-chromed, so I thought I'd have a go at powder coating them instead, because you can get chrome powder coating. So I thought this oven might be useful for smaller parts. However, it's got a fault. I'll just show you what it does. So if we just switch it on here, we can see the temperature immediately goes up to 367, and the alarm light comes on and it doesn't heat up. And that's all it's doing. This is a little slider for a little air intake at the back. I'll just open the door there so you can have a look inside. So it could just be a problem with the temperature sensor, which is probably inside here somewhere, or it could be something else. So let's take it apart and we'll have a look and see if we can figure out what's up with it. So to get into it, it looks like we need to remove 2 screws here and 2 screws here, and I think the lid comes off. Right, let's have a look what we've got in here then. Well, it looks like we've got a circuit board down there. I'm not sure what that is. It looks like we've got a big blob of mercury in there. So I might spin this round just so we can get a better look of it from the front. So this looks like it's got 2 temperature controls, because the main one seems to move this here, which moves that block of mercury there, or that blob of mercury rather, as you can see in that tube there. But then also it looks like we've got 2 thin wires which go, it is unplugged now by the way, it looks like it goes through this hole here, which I think then goes into the cavity of the oven. So let's just have a look on the inside and just see what's on the inside there. So those 2 wires go to here, which seems to be a little NTC in a silicon tube there. So let's get the test meter and we'll just see if we've got resistance on this, because that might have just gone open circuit or something. Right, let's just go on to resistance. We'll just switch the meter on. And let's just try on this temperature probe here. We've got about 96 ohms. Let's just try disconnecting. We'll just measure, just in case we're measuring something on the board. And we've got 101 ohms. So it's not open circuit. So what I might do then, I might just try and get something like a heat gun or something, and we'll try heating that sensor up, and we'll just see if the resistance changes. I'm just going to get a hot air gun. Right, back with a Black & Decker paint stripper gun here. And the resistance at the moment says 101, so let's just try heating this up. Well, I would say the temperature sensor's working. So that means it must be a problem on the PCB then. So it's just getting a bit more interesting now then. I don't know, it would have been a bit disappointing if it just been just the thermistor or whatever, but... Right then. So what I might need to do now is disconnect some of these wires, and then we'll take this board back over to my bench and we'll have a look at it and see if we can figure out why it's not reading the temperature properly. Right, I've marked all of the wires up. I'll just put dots on them corresponding to where they go on the board. And I've marked the board as well. So let's get this out and let's get it over to the bench. Right, back over the house where it's a little bit warmer. Let's have a zoom down on this circuit board, see if we can see anything obvious. Well, there's no obvious signs of anything blown. Let's just check on the back, see if we can see any fatigued solder joints or anything. Oh, the solvent looks okay. So our thermistor plugged into these two here, and they seem to go to this op amp here. It looks like there's a splattering of resistors about. So I've either got an open circuit resistor or it could be that op amp. I'll just zoom back out a little bit. So a quick way of getting a rough idea if an op amp's working okay is if you put your red lead on the negative here, you should get a diode reading on each one of the legs. And we do. So, I mean, I know it doesn't check it out properly, but it looks like all of the inputs and whatever are okay on this op amp. So it might not be that. We've got another IC here, which I think is an op amp or comparator or something as well. So we should be able to do similar with that one. Again, that seems fine, just testing it with the meter. Well, let's check some other semiconductors then. So we've got a diode here. Let's just check that one. That seems okay. I can't quite see for my hands there, but so that transistor appears to be okay. Let's try. Might be a different arrangement of pins. Yeah, I'm getting a slightly not right reading on there. So possibly suspect. That one seems okay. That looks like we're charging up a capacitor or whatever. So think that's about it for the semiconductors. Maybe one down here. Actually two. That one looks okay. That one looks okay. We haven't got any shorter transistors, although that one does give it a little bit of a weird reading. Measures okay that way. But we have got a little bit of a higher reading there, so that's the only thing I've really found up to now. So maybe worth taking that one out and checking it. And I might try changing this op amp as well, just to be sure. We'll take this transistor out first, I think. I'll try it in the component tester. So let's add a bit fresh solder first. Let's try the DCA55. That's why I wasn't getting a... So Darlington transistor. Well, it appears to measure okay with the DCA55, so might not be that then. Well, I've popped the transistor back in. I can't see anything obvious, so what I might do is just try swapping this op amp just to rule it out. So what I'm going to do is just put a socket in so it's easier to change. So I'm going to start by putting some fresh solder on these pins here. I'll just put the solder sucker on and we'll just wait for that to warm up. Nice, I'll get the solder sucker out of the way. I've got a chip socket just to go in there, so we'll pop that in. Right, that's our socket in. And I've got another LM324 here, so we'll try that one. Actually a little bit solder left on this one here, I think. I just desoldered this one from another board. I didn't have any new ones, so I'll just use a bit of solder wick to clean the legs. Right. Well, we'll see if that makes any difference. Right, I've got most of the wires back on. I've just got the NTC to go back on here. Right, just drop the camera down a little bit. I'll switch it off and we'll go and plug it in. Right, let's see what it does now then. Ooh. Well, it's not showing 300 odd degrees now anyway. It's more like what I'd expect it to be because it is about freezing in here, so let's see what happens. Well, I've set it to 50 degrees. The heat lights came on, so I think we'll just leave it a little while and just see if it actually heats up. Well, it seems to be flickering between 1 and 2 at the moment. Perhaps it just takes a long time to heat up. Right, we'll come back to it in a little while. Well, we seem to be about 51 degrees. So I've got this old rusty horseshoe here, so I thought I might have a go at sandblasting that and powder coating it, and we'll see how it comes out. Well, I think that's came out all right for a rusty old horseshoe. Right, let's powder coat it then, and then we'll bake it in the oven. So I bought a second-hand Eastwood little gun here on an auction site, not eBay, and it was described as used once. I think it's been used at least twice. And it's starting to rain outside quite heavily, so let's get on with powder coating this. I'm just going to spin that round. Right, I think that should do for that. So let's bake it. Well, it's nearly up to 200 degrees. I think we'll stick this horseshoe in now. Right, let's see how we get on with that then. Well, it's been baking for about 20 minutes. Ooh, looks shiny. Right, we'll wait for that to cool down and then we'll get it out. Well, I'm really pleased how that came out. Very shiny. From a rusty old horseshoe to a nice silver chromy horseshoe. Yeah, I'm quite chuffed with that. So I managed to fix the oven as well, so excellent. Right then, if you enjoyed this video, please give it the thumbs up. If you want to see more like it, please subscribe. Any comments or questions, please leave it in the comment section below. And as always, have a great day. Thanks for watching.